Hello, and welcome to the Wether-report. That was the chime. Now is the time for the Wether-report. Welcome, and thank you for joining me, your host, Perry McGann, on my journey to visit and rate every Wetherspoons in the UK and Ireland, awarding them a wooden spoon if you should give it a miss, or a silver spoon if you should put it on your hit list. I'm joined, as always, by my trusted co-host Pepsi. For those of you who don't know, Pepsi is a Jack Russell who has about much interest in Wetherspoons as I have in being able to lick my own genitals. Please, if you're enjoying the podcast, leave a review. It does help me very much. Also, if you have any thoughts about the podcast, email me at perrysoldspooners@hotmail.com. Pepsi, did you want to say hello? No? Okay, never mind. We're a bit like Gordon the Gopher and Philip Schofield here in the closet. Oh, no. That I'm not in a closet. Well, neither is Philip Schofield anymore. I'm not a closeted man. Not that there is anything wrong with that. In fact, if you are closeted, come out, be yourself, live your authentic life. And it's not the reason why Claire with an eye left me. Her reasons had nothing to do with me. Pepsi, don't look at me like that. I repeat, my wife did not leave me because I am in the closet. She would say it was more for reasons of neglect, which isn't a symptom of being in a closet, which I am not. More a symptom of lack of intimacy. Not on my part. I was always keen. Right, well, now that's cleared up. Let's move on. This week's pub is the Drabbit Smock in Haverhill. But first, it's time for Wetherspoons in the news. Oh yeah. Thank you, Pepsi. First, I did see a great meme, which was about turning the House of Commons into a Wetherspoons, which I think would be a great idea. I do wonder how long the walk would be to the toilet there, though. So I did want to do a quick comparison to the price of the pint in the nearest Wetherspoons to the House of Commons. So at the House of Commons, you can get a pint of Carling for £3.30 or £2.90 for a pint of IPA or guest ale. Now, as the crow flies, the closest Wetherspoons is the Lion and Unicorn, but I'm not going to use that one as it's a train station. The prices will be inflated due to its location. I'm going with the Willow Walk, Westminster. Now, can you guess which is cheaper, Wetherspoons or the House of Commons bar? I'll give you a second. Lock in those answers. Ready? It's the House of Commons. The Willow Walk comes in at £5.49 for a pint of Carling. For Carling, I know. It's better if you're a real ale drinker. It's £2.79 for a pint of IPA. Doombar jumps up to £4.29. Shipyard comes in at £4.79. There you have it. If you want a cheap pint in London, become an MP. You can probably claim it back on your expenses too. Anyway, on with Wetherspoons in the news. The first article, we're staying with London. A former London dungeon could be turned into a Wetherspoons near London Bridge Station. It could be called the Sun Wharf. Now, when I first thought this, I thought of an actual London dungeon, not the tacky tourist trap. What do you think of this? Does London need another Wetherspoons? There is an article also in the Mail about how impressive the Palladium in Llandudno, it's quite a mouthful, is describing it as a piece of artwork. I look forward to reviewing that in the near future. There is also a few articles about closures. One is The Scotsman, which is reporting 3 Scottish Wetherspoons are about to close, including the Foot of a Walk, which I reported a few weeks ago. This all seems to be a move to get rid of smaller and older Wetherspoons in favour of larger sites in areas with huge footfall. The Lion and Unicorn and the proposed London Dungeon Pub, examples of such. London has over has over 100 Wetherspoons, and I think the population is 10 million. So that's 100,000 per Wetherspoon. Surely this application should be applied countrywide. Okay, so now our final piece of news is that the wings, bites and strips deal is happening alongside the price reduction in many pubs. So wings, bites and strips deal is where you can buy chicken wings, Southern Comfort, chicken strips and chicken bites, or corn with a Q bites for $2.99 for one, $5.99 for two, and $7.49 for three. I think prices might vary pub to pub, but this feels like a good deal. What do you think? I think I'd enjoy this. A sort of deep fried chicken tapas. I don't usually enjoy tapas. Once went to a tapas bar with a load of Claire Whittenay's friends and their husband. Ordered a little pot of salami in balsamic vinegar for myself. I didn't even get to have any of it. They dropped it off at the other end of the table, and it was picked clean by the time it got down to me, and I had to pay for it. On the way home, Claire accused me of being sullen. Yeah, I was. I left the restaurant hungry, and had to stop at the all-night garage and get a Ginsters. On the plus side, I never have to see those salami stealing sods again. Anyway. On with the podcast, excuse me. Next up, we have the reviews. Let's see what other people thought of the Drabbit Smock. Google review scores it 4 out of 5 stars with 1,045 reviews. TripAdvisor gives it 3.5 out of 216 reviews, so generally favourable. Being 4th out of 11 quick bites in Haverhill. Not starting well with the first review. It's from ER, or who only review is this one, so her experience was so bad it inspired her to start a TripAdvisor. And it goes, some staff are extremely rude. On this day, went in to have food, especially managers or claiming to be managers. They don't listen to the customers and then back each other up, even though they are wrong. Staff have a terrible attitude. Feels like kindergarten. Very disappointing and not a great experience this day. Food was terrible and cold, dirty cutlery and table. Staff training regarding hospitality needs updating. ER, which is fitting given their review. They were not very happy with their experience. This one does pick out attitude of staff and lack of customer service. Was customer service better before the pandemic, or is it just rose-tinted glasses? Like the Rally Chopper bike in the 70s being a good bike, instead of being the best way to get a free vasectomy on the gear shift if you brake too sharply. I'll let you decide on that one. Then there is this 3-star review from Catherine with a Y. Was having a lovely meal with the family, then I realised I had hairs/fibres on my panini. As I'd already eaten half of it already, felt sick instantly. Looking closer at it, it was covered. The chap who was manager said it was not hair. I said, I don't care. It's all over it and I've eaten it. They refunded it for me. Don't feel that that was enough, to be honest. Last time I eat from here, I didn't get a photo as I was fuming and wanted answers immediately. They couldn't tell me what it was. I'm surprised Catherine and Y gave it 3 stars. How bad would it have to have been for Catherine to give it 1? If it wasn't hair, then what were the unidentifiable fibres? No surprises. Catherine with a Y won't be going back. Then we have Pat W, open brackets, riverboats, close brackets. Strange username, that's all. 4-star review. Nice meal overlooking the marketplace and the Knife Angel statue. Seems Pat enjoyed her visit. Or male Pat. Could be either. Enjoyed their visit to the Drabbit Smock. Then we have this 1-star review from David T. Gone downhill fast. Date 25th of the 7th, 2025. Absolute disgusting. Never again. At least David T knows where not to be on the 25th of July, 2025. David T. Possible a Time Lord is visiting the Drabbit Smock here. I'm just playing. Right. Well, that's it for the reviews. Now it's time to find out what I thought. Now, I visited Haverhill and the Drabbit Smock on Tax Equality Day and found Haverhill like stepping back in time. There also seemed to be no expectations in Haverhill. The parking was good value. I think I got about 3 hours for £1, which is great compared to some places I've been recently. Like I said, it was like stepping back in time. There was a functioning video shop, something I hadn't seen in years. It was something I found fantastic, a real trip down memory lane. Who remembers fighting with their partner in public over what to watch rather than the privacy of your own living room? There was another pub called the Queen's Head. The name on the sign was in inverted commas. I can't understand why. If you know why, email me at perrysouldspooners@hotmail.com. Also, the Hanging Pub sign was a glamorised shot of what I assumed to be the landlady. Lovely touch. But after further investigation, it appears the pub is now up for sale. So if you fancied it, it's listed on Florette's website at $295,000 on a freehold. 4-bed flat above it, lots of potentials. 100% wet lead, a trade garden. If you fancy it, give Florette a call. I'll only take a 10% finder's fee. Now, the Drabbit Smock. This is definitely a Wetherspoons that hasn't received much attention for a long while. From the outside, it looked more like a large scout hut. It felt like it hadn't been updated since the early 2000s. The only real modern thing was the garden furniture. Looking at the Wetherspoons website, you can see the pictures of the garden were taken on a rainy day. This tells you as much as you need to know about how much Wetherspoons cares about this pub. Also, there is a picture of the external of the pub, which had a mobility scooter parked outside. There was a mobility scooter parked outside when I went. Love this, as it must be a beloved regular. Talking about the outside, additionally to the garden out the back, they also had benches out the front, so you could drink and watch the world go by a town square. I found a seat. The pub wasn't as busy as I expected. The table was clear, not clean. As it was a Thursday, I decided to indulge in a curry. I had the katsu curry. Is this a traditional curry club curry? Let me know at perrysouldspooners@hotmail.com. If you're enjoying the show, drop me a follow and a review. I also wanted to order a shipyard. It was out of stock. I went on the app to get the prices earlier, and it's still out of stock. So it must be an item that they just don't stock at this particular Wetherspoons. So I had a pint of Brewdog IPA, as it was $3.99, and I just wanted to steal a little bit more value. I had ordered, and given how unbusy. It's not that it wasn't busy, but it wasn't quiet. So unbusy. The food took over 20 minutes to turn up. This isn't something that bothers me, but Wetherspoons aim for under 10 minutes, so it needs to be included in a review. I didn't mind as it gave me time to order another pint. I just absorbed my first one. My food arrived after 22 minutes. I ordered the chicken katsu curry with a samosa and onion bhajis extra, and poppadoms and a dip. I have taken umbrage with the poppadoms. It was £1.76 for 2 poppadoms. How much can poppadoms cost? The samosa and onion bhajis were nice. I felt let down by the samosa, as I've had better from a Tesco's meal deal. The curry itself was nice. This is something that they've clearly made using existing menu items. The chicken is a spicy buttermilk fillet. The sauce is their chip shop curry sauce and rice, plus some chili and coriander thrown together. This does get close to what they're trying to achieve. This makes me think that the chef team at Wetherspoons got cocky after this, and that's how the Korean bowl was born. Something that I don't understand where or what they're trying to achieve with. Everything arrived hot. I was rather unimpressed by the poppadoms, how much they cost. Just go up to £2 for 4. That's simple, isn't it? Something I would like to address is the gentleman clearing plates. I was a little bit too keen. No sooner had I taken the last bite of my poppadoms, and he was there to take the plate. No sooner had I finished my samosa, and my side plate was gone. I rested my cutlery on my bowl, and he was there. Now, I'm a fan of efficient service, but felt this was overkill, especially as when I arrived, the table was not cleared. Sorry, table was cleared, but not clear. And it took 22 minutes for my food to arrive too. Strange use of efficiency, really. But anyway. Now, it was time to tackle the toilets. These were up some stairs. There was an access toilet on the ground floor. The walk to a toilet was less than a minute from where I was. As I arrived at Lou's, I was struck by a little sign that said, "Please don't smoke in the toilets." This wasn't a modern sign. It had been there for a long while. This felt like it predated the smoking ban of 2007. Same year the Cadbury's Drumming Gorilla advert came out. This is what I mean when this pub isn't one which Wetherspoons cares much about, and the time warp I felt being in Haverhill. I could rent a physical film and was being asked nicely not to smoke in the toilets rather than it being against the law. Funny story, the last night you could smoke in a pub was the night I met Claire with an eye. Story from our time. The toilets themselves were fine. The lock was broken on one of the stalls, but were functional and clean, which was the least you could wish for. Side note, I didn't feel safe in them, even though I was alone. Okay, now time for the scores on the doors. Cleanliness. Despite the eagerness of the lad clearing the tables, my table was dirty at arrival. In general, it seemed clean and tidy. Speed of service. Aim is for under 10 minutes, and it took closer to 22, 23 minutes. Staff, Barely saw any apart from the gentleman tugging plates away from customers as their last bite entered their mouths. The 3 T's, time to the toilet. It was about 45 seconds walk up the stairs, access toilet downstairs if you needed it. Toilet cleaners, they were clean, check sheet was up to date, toilets did feel haunted. Food when it arrived was hot, all elements were a good temperature and nothing burnt my mouth. Disappointment at the samosas and the price of the poppadoms, but overall I enjoyed it. Quality of drink, Brewdog IPA, I enjoyed it. Disappointed it wasn't a shipyard. The whole meal came to $9.56 and the other bits so it's £13 and 5 pence. $3.99 for a pint, so $5.57 for the curry. Pretty good value for a kind of town Wetherspoons. Cheapest pint there was, I think at this point, is Green King IPA, $1.79, Doom Bars $1.99, Abbott also $1.99. They usually have 2 guest ales on, and they're both $1.99. It does also look like they often have Oakham Citra, which is a lovely drop. Lagers, the cheapest was Bud Light at $1.99, but that was out of stock at the time. Carlsberg was the next cheapest at $2.77. Guinness £3.45, and I don't think we're getting any cheaper on Guinness now. $3.45 is the Guinness bottom line. I'd love to be corrected on that. Ciders, Soford was $1.99, Strongbow $2.39. They also had Koppenberg Strawberry and Lime at $2.59 on draft. Gins, Gordon's was $3.80, but you could also get a Beefeater London Blood Orange at $2.43. If there is any flavoured gin fans left, or is that fad now over? Overall, I enjoyed my foods. This Wetherspoons is lacking in a few areas and is in need of a serious update to the decor. But in general, it fits with the general feeling of the whole town, which I feel like was being pulled through a time warp from 1999 to 2024 and getting stuck about a quarter way through. I don't want to be particularly mean, but on this occasion I will have to give the Drabbit Smock a wooden spoon. There are better Wetherspoons out there to visit, and rather like its name, the Drabbit Smock is rather smockingly drab. Right, well that's it for this week's review. It's time for letter spoons. This week we have a sack busting 2 emails, so let's crack on. First up we've got Harry B. And Harry B would like to take Bill Witherspoons, very good, to the Velvet Coaster in Blackpool and have a lovely day. Oh, very good a day. Very good indeed. Buy him a pint of Ruddles and ride on the big one. I don't think Bill Withers would be into Ruddles. I think he's more of a single malt man, like Lefroy or Glenmorangie, or even a shot of Buffalo Trace. I don't know if he'd be up for a roller coaster either. He's getting on a bit. In fact, hang on. I'm just going to check something. Oh, it seems that he passed away in March 2020. So sadly, Bill Withers is no longer with us. But thank you for your email, Harry, and welcome to the club, you POS. Next up, we have Daryl C, who would like to take Robson Green to the Crown Hotel Biggleswade, which coincidentally is the next Wetherspoons I will be reviewing, for a pint of Coors Light. Daryl dreams of landing a big marlin one day off the coast of Florida and would like to get some tips from Robson Green. Robson Green, of course, famous for Soldier with Jerome Flynn. I never know which one is which, so I just refer to both of them as Robson or Jerome. Good luck with the marlin. I personally couldn't think of anything worse than wrestling a fish with a deadly weapon as a nose. But then people go potholing too. Something that gives me chills just thinking about. Do I mean potholing? Yes, I do. Just these days, when you think about potholing, you think about men fixing holes in the road. Like, remember when Rod Stewart did it a few years back? I really don't think that's what he had in mind when he wrote Young Turks or Maggie May. Wake up, Maggie. I think I've got something to say to you. I really should be fixing a pothole on the B1702. That's enough rambling. Thank you for your email. Glad you're enjoying the podcast, and I hope you land that whopper one day. And welcome to the club, you POS. Sadly, that's it for this week. If you want to be a POS like Harry and Daryl C, drop me a line and I'll happily read your email out. Email me at perry'soldspooners@hotmail.com. And if you're enjoying, drop a follow, drop a review. It does all help. And again, thank you for listening. Say good night, Pepsi. Good night, Pepsi. And it's good night for me. And I'll see you next time.